What's up, y'all? I got the keys here. Back in another video. Today, I just want to get you guys. I want to calm your nervous system. And what I'm going to tell you is that basically the video is going to be about things falling away from life, right? And this could be a job, this could be your car, this could be a friend, this could be your family. It could be your business failing. It could be anything, right? We have to understand that when things no longer align with our purpose, when things no longer align with our divine alignment, right? And the things that no longer serve us, they fall out of our life, right? So, like for me, in the past, I was working a job that I pretty much hated, honestly. I was making good money, but at the end of the day, I would go home and I would just loathe everything. Like it just wasn't making me happy, right? And not that you need something outside of yourself to make you happy, right? But you want to be working somewhere that you really enjoy, right? And I know that, like, obviously we have a life, right? And we have to pay for things. We have bills, we have things to take care of, which I'm not telling you to just go and quit your job, right? But like, when things no longer serve us and like we're getting those thoughts of, we should go somewhere else, we should do something else, follow those thoughts, right? There's obviously something else better for you. For me, getting fired from that job really inspired me to do this, right? To do YouTube and to put myself out there and be somebody else, be something new, right? Create something else for myself, something outside of 9 to 5s. And I'm not saying that you can't work a 9 to 5. That may be part of your purpose, right? But ultimately, when things start falling away, this is when you're getting blessed, right? God removes things that no longer serve us. And so, losing something is also gaining something else, right? Because when God takes away something, he's giving you something better. Or I should say it is giving you something better, right? Because it's not a he or a she. But ultimately, that infinite intelligence is telling you that this does not align with you, right? If you're coming home from your job and you're hating your life, there's something that you need to change, right? Within yourself and outwardly, right? Because whenever we change something inwardly, the outer reality changes, right? It's all part of the plan, right? And when I know that this is hard to stay, grounded when shit like that happens, but I promise you that it is for the better in the end. It may not seem like that in the moment, but you might see 3 months down the line that that had to happen, right? It's like, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am. And, especially with relationships and stuff, because sometimes that partner, we get attached to them, right? And they're no longer serving us emotionally, spiritually, physically, none of it, right? And we end up staying because we get attached to the, emotional connection. We get attached to, how they make us feel. But, sometimes that person is not really for you, right? And I understand for a lot of the single people how you feel, like when you get in a relationship for that first time and you're like, wow, like I've never experienced this before, right? But when you can be happy alone, that is a superpower, guys. Being alone is one of the most beneficial things in your life. And I understand that it gets hard sometimes. I understand that, you want that partner. I understand, we all have a desire for real love, real connection. But ultimately, when that relationship is not serving you anymore and you won't leave, God is going to remove it because... And it's not to say that God's going to interfere with life, but if it's really pushing you to a certain limit where you cannot stand it anymore, God is going to remove it, okay? Because not only is it depressing you, playing mind games with you, um, you know, abusing you in a multitude of forms, right? But sometimes we have to face those things, and when things get removed, we get to be alone, right? And God meets us in our loneliness, okay? Because not that God can't, come to you when you're around people, but it's easier for you to connect and really feel God when you're alone, okay? Alone is all one, right? And that means you are already a whole being. You do not need somebody else. As much as you may want somebody else, you do not need them. And that is the art of detachment, right? Detaching from the mind, because the mind is what wants to stay, right? But the heart knows the truth. And the heart knows that this is not serving you. And that could be for anything, like I said, a job, a car, or, whatever. And so when things start falling away, guys, that is your sign that you're changing, right? You're changing your inner being. You're becoming what you've already been, right? What you were from the start. You're remembering who you are. And this is important on the journey, right? And for you to ascend within, right? That is the most important thing, is for you to remember your highest self, right? Your highest timeline of what is going to be the best, path for me to take, and trust that God will lead you there. Okay. Because like I said before, you have multiple lives just in this specific, body or persona. Right. And so God has already lived through you all of these lives. And so there could be a life where you went through being rich and famous and, whatever, but it ended up not serving you, right? And I understand that we all want to be, well off with money. We all want to be able to afford the things we want to do and experience. But I promise you that if you just do what you love, you do what can help others, okay? You have to give something to get something. And so, that's what I'm doing here, because I'm giving my energy to whoever needs it in that moment, right? And this is what these videos are for. It's not only to help, myself, but to help the other people that need it, that need that encouragement, that motivation, and to really see the light in the situation. And I know, like I said, it can be rather hard to, see light in a situation sometimes. But the more that we can become aware of what's going on, why you're feeling this way, and what is coming up, okay, it's easier. It gets easier. And I know that, like, even when things start to go bad, you'll just start smiling, right? You just start laughing. You just start, like, it's just a flow. And you're like, wow, okay, like, I understand that there's ups and downs. Nothing can be perfect all the time. You cannot always be high up, right? We have to experience a low every once in a while, because you wouldn't know what the highs feel like without those lows, right? Because if everything was just good all the time, would life really be, you know what I mean? Would it be the same? I mean, think about that for a second. If everything was always good, wouldn't it get a little boring, don't you think? Like not saying you can't live a good life, right? But like, there's still going to be problems you have to solve. There's still going to be challenges, and that's just part of the game, right? Like, we're challenging ourselves to become the best self that we can be in any given moment. And that's all you really need to do, right? Is to do your best, to be your best. It's not even about trying. You are doing it right now. Because with whatever information with whatever knowledge you have at this moment, you are doing your best with what you know and who you are at this moment. Okay? And I promise you, on the other side, there is light, okay? When you get through that darkness, you'll figure it out, I promise. And I know, like I said, I know it can be a challenge. I know that, like I said before, things are not all sunshine and rainbows. Things are not always, fun to deal with. But in the end, it's all worth it, right? And you are worth it, okay? You matter, okay? You matter because you're matter right now. You are experiencing yourself as matter, which is vibrational light slowed down to a certain frequency, right? So follow your heart, follow your intuition and what it's telling you, right? Be the best self that you can be in any given moment. And even if that is angry, if that is crying, if that is sad, if that is depressed, it's okay. Face those feelings and come out on the other side, right? If you need to seek help, do that. There's no problem with that. You are not less than because you seeked help. That actually makes you stronger, okay? Because honestly, there's been plenty of times where, I've wanted to take myself out of this world, but I faced that feeling and I really understood why I felt that way, right? And it's because I wasn't doing and I wasn't being, right? I was running from things, right? I would run from my problems. I wouldn't want to face them. I would just smoke weed, right? And I'm not saying weed is a bad thing, but when you overuse something and you run away from your problems, whatever that may be, it could be anything. It could even be meditation, right? Because when you're escaping reality all the time and not facing what's really going on, that means you're running from it. You're pushing against the flow, right? And what we want to do is we want to be in the flow, okay? You are a spiritual, multidimensional being, which means that you have multiple perspectives of yourself. You have multiple angles or angels of self, right? So stay with it and just keep on your track, right? It's not going to be perfect all the time, even though it is, right? I promise you that there is going to be something better for you. And I promise you that you'll get the life that you want, that you desire. And it is really about detachment, right? And that is detaching from the mind, right? Once you have envisioned it within the mind and created it already, have seen it, and you felt it, what it's like to be that person, now you let go of the mind and you let the heart lead you, okay? Just do your best. And that's all you have to do, right? It's all in this moment now. Think about it. When has there been a past or a future? It's always now. We're always in the now moment. So in this now moment, you are already that successful person just by living and breathing, right? You are a divine being. So trust in yourself. Trust in your highest self to get you where you need to be, okay? And it's not all going to be fun, right? Sometimes you have to go through the hard shit. I know it sucks, but I promise you it's worth it when you face it and come out on the other side. You will love yourself more in the end. So with that being said, I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.